very much. I don't know if you noticed, but my introduction is rather short to get us back on time. Our next presenter is a person that I kind of associate with because he's going to talk about communication. He's the president of Speakeasy. He is a person who believes that the spoken word is very, very powerful. And I think that one of the things we're losing with technology is the ability to talk with each other. So let's welcome Scott Weiss to give us something about communication.
You can cut the slide too, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Can we turn off the projector? Yeah, turn it off.
Silence. Anybody uncomfortable? I'll tell you what, everybody get their cell phone out. Eric's going to really love this. Everybody get your cell phone out. Hold it in your hand. Everybody feel better now? Awesome. Okay, so here's the arrangement. I'm going to talk for 8 minutes. I'll put mine away if you all agree to put yours away. We got a deal? And I know you guys with the laptops who are supposedly taking notes, you got to shut those down too. Because to communicate today, we have to demand attention. Thank you. This past week, I was in a local eatery having a meal, and I noticed a table next to me with 7 or 8 young adults. And I observed them for at least 10 minutes. Not a single spoken word was said. There was laughter, there was giggling, they were smiling. I suppose they might have been even texting each other. But for 10 minutes, and I'm not exaggerating, not a single spoken word. So fast forward 5 years. The same group of young adults are now interviewing for their first job. And they sit across from their prospective employer. Now, these could be lawyers, doctors, educators, business executives, you name it. So they sit across from their prospective employer, and they get asked questions like, tell me something you're passionate about. Talk to me about an important mentor in your life. Now, those of you who have kids like I do, you can imagine what's going on now, right? Because they can't go to their cell phone, they can't text Dad for Lifeline, they can't go on Google and find the answer. What the employer is looking for is the answer in here. And it comes out here. Fast forward another 5 years. Now they're looking to be promoted. They're trying to advance in their careers. So they sit in front of their supervisor, their manager, and the questions come again. And the same struggle exists. There's an inordinate amount of research that shows, and this may surprise you, the #1 competency that employers look for in new hires, and the #1 competency required or expected for advancement. Guess what it is? Effective communication. But here's the problem. We don't teach it. We don't teach it. So we have a curriculum that includes algebra, trigonometry, the classics, biology, geology, science, you name it. In fact, prior to this morning, I went online and I searched a number of universities across the country looking for a required curriculum in communication. That's the irony. So prospective employers are looking for this competency, and we're not teaching it. So if you look back at time, just go back 100 years, and you think about the power of the spoken word and its importance on society. Think about the idea of storytelling. When was the last time you sat down with one of your children and told a story? By show of hands, anybody sit down with their child in the last couple weeks and told a story? That's awesome. Because here's the gist. They can't go on Google and find the story of your life. They can't go on Ask Jeeves and find the story of your parents, or your family, or their parents, or your history. It has to be talked about. So that's the challenge. That's the challenge with educators, and that's what we have to focus on, because no matter how advanced technology gets and how integrated it becomes in the classroom, technology doesn't feel. Technology does not feel. So, the answer lies with the educators. What can educators do to promote the importance and the value of the spoken word? There are two competencies that we're really talking about. One is what we refer to as style and delivery. The other is what we refer to as content, planning, and organization. So style and delivery is as you experience me today. 1,000,000 messages are going through your head. You're making judgments, you're making choices about everything about me as I come across to you. My visual image, my spoken word, my confidence, my authority, the quality of my voice. Content planning and organization is, what do I say? How do I determine what to say to this audience, or to any listener, professional or personal, so that I can communicate a common theme that I've heard this morning, which is relevance. There's a lot of content that is talked about all the time that is not relevant to the listener. And a huge amount of time gets wasted as a result. So being able to teach those two competencies, how to communicate and what to communicate, style and delivery and content planning and messaging, is the role of educators. And all of you have the ability to incorporate that into your classroom. When I grew up, we had to stand up at our desks. Very early on, it was a way for teachers to instill confidence in our ability to speak. You will find today that kids are terrified, absolutely terrified. We laugh about it. I have 3 children. Ask them a question, and they'll pull this thing out in 2 seconds flat, and with great confidence, text the response. Tell them to do it with their voice. Terrified. At some point in time, they will be executives. They will be doctors, lawyers, educators, clergy, political individuals, whatever the case may be. They will have to rely on their spoken voice at some point in their life. And you have to teach it to them. So, I'm putting the responsibility on you. How do you make that happen? I'm happy to provide resources for you if you're interested. You can email me, of course, or you could actually pick up the phone and have a conversation. But I would be happy to provide you resources. But the responsibility to break the silence is on you. Thank you.